Tonight, the Astros complete the 2012 home season at Minute Maid Park. Although the season has been disappointing, what memories will Astros fans take away from this final National League home game? Bud Norris points the way against the St. Louis Cardinals. Next on Fox Sports Houston. Live from Minute Maid Park in Houston, Texas, Fox Sports Houston brings you Houston Astros baseball. Tonight, it's the final game at home for the Astros. They meet the St. Louis Cardinals. Good evening, everybody. Bill Brown and Jim DeShays. Also the final meeting between the Astros and Cardinals as National League rivals. The Cardinals have won 10 straight from the Astros, JD.
Yeah, last chance to beat the Cardinals, who have pitched very well against the Astros this year. And tonight they send the veteran right-hander Chris Carpenter to the mound. An intriguing pitching matchup. Carpenter's missed pretty much the entire year. He made one start against the Cubs, pitched well in that game. In his career, he's 8-5 with a 2.62 ERA. Bud Norris has been very good against the Cardinals in his career, 7-5 with a 2.97. He has the lowest home ERA in the National League.
In this home finale for the Astros tonight, they now have lost J.D. Martinez, who had surgery today, so their RBI leader gone for the rest of the year. Can this offense be enough to beat Carpenter tonight? We'll find out in just a moment.
Park for the final time of the 2012 season, and the final game being played in Houston for the foreseeable future, at least, as a National League city. The Astros will be taking on their longtime rival Cardinals, and Bud Norris will hope that he is able to battle back from some illness to be strong on the mound against Chris Carpenter. Astros are waiting to take the field for this final home game. They've still got 3 games in Milwaukee and 3 games in Chicago, and we will have 5 of those 6 games on Fox Sports Houston. But this is the last home game, and this is where it all started for this network back in 1983 when it was only doing home games in those days. And the Astros were one of the primary reasons for its existence. This is also the last game for Milo Hamilton as the lead radio announcer, and he held a news conference about 4 o'clock this afternoon.
Baseball is a radio game. But I'll have the picture in case I want to see a replay.
Okay, so since it's obvious he's not paying attention to J.D. Brownie or I, we can say almost anything. But seriously, he's had a great career. He's had a great career, 28 years of Astro broadcasting, and of course more than that, starting in the early 50s with the St. Louis Browns. 14 new teams have been added to baseball since he started, and several of the original 16 have changed locations. There's been a lot of change during his career, and look at the gathering of people in his booth as he gets underway on his final telecast. In fact, we expect to hear from him in the 7th inning when he's going to address the crowd. I'm not exactly sure as the Astros do take the field. I was wondering what the delay was. We're already a couple minutes past start time, but we'll be underway. So let's go up to the booth where Bill Brown and Jim Deshaies will call this final home game.
Thank you, Greg, and a nice round of applause as the Astros take the field here at home for the final time this season. They try to snap a 3-game losing streak. At home, they've won 34 and lost 46. John Jay getting ready to step in the box against Bud Norris. The Hyundai lineup for Mike Matheny begins with the center fielder, Jay. He's followed by third baseman Matt Carpenter. It's Matt Holliday in left field batting third. The cleanup man is first baseman Alan Craig. With Yadier Molina at catcher, Adron Chambers in right field, Daniel Descalzo at second base, Pete Kozma at shortstop, Chris Carpenter the pitcher.
Bud Norris made his first major league start against the Cardinals in 2009. He won that game. He's won 7 games total against the Cardinals since 2009, more than any other pitcher. See Randy Wolf and Zach Greinke behind him with 6. He shoots for number 8 against the Cardinals here tonight, trying to break an 18-game streak without a W. And the Astros defense is brought to you by the Home Depot. Martinez Maxwell Moore in the outfield. Laird, Lowry, Altuve, Wallace third to first. Jason Castro behind the plate.
It's back-to-back starts for Bud Norris against this Cardinal club. He was a 5-4 loser in St. Louis last Thursday, giving up 5 runs in 5 1/3 innings. And now, as you see, his home record so much better. 3-1 at home in 10 starts. A 1.90 ERA. Lucas Harrell finished his home season last night. His ERA 2.34, and Bud even lower than that. Well, that's the 7th lowest since the club moved into this ballpark among pitchers with 75 innings. If Bud goes 9 innings tonight, he'll have 75. So he will rank very high on that list of lowest ERAs in this ballpark at home for a season. But as you pointed out, J.D., he just hasn't had a lot of starts at home this year.
Yeah, it's been weird. He's been so many more starts on the road than at home, and those splits home and road are just crazy. Very difficult to explain. It's understandable that a guy would be better at home than on the road to a degree, but so severe with that ERA above 7 on the road, but so good here, including, check this number out, his last 4 home starts. He's pitched 26 2/3 innings, allowed 4 earned runs. That's a 1.35 ERA. No wins, no losses for him in that stretch.
Strike 1 to John Jay. At 3:01, he has 4 homers, 37 runs batted in. Jay had 2 hits and drove in 2 runs in last night's game. Cardinals have really been on a surge of terrific starting pitching against the Astros in the season series. And they have won 11 of the 14 games from Houston. They've won 10 in a row for a club record winning streak against the Astros. Redbirds have won 4 in a row overall.
That first pitch was thrown out of the ball game, and that will be marked a historic ball. The first pitch of the final game for the Astros as a National League club in their home ballpark.
Jay swings late on the heater. That makes it 1-2 for Bud Norris.
There's the authenticator. That's Mr. Authenticator to you, sir. Jay
fouls it back. Still a 1-ball, 2-strike count with Carpenter and Holliday to follow. The Cardinals have built a nice 4.5 game lead in the wild card race for that number 2 wild card position, and they have put more distance between themselves and the pursuing clubs by winning the first 2 of this series. They've picked up 2 games in the last 2 days, so it's been a good trip for them here.
Yeah, and it's amazing. With so few games remaining on the schedule, a 2-day swing like that can just change the whole feel of it. You know, the Cardinals felt the Brewers and the Dodgers breathing down their necks, but all of a sudden now they have a magic number of 4 to clinch that second wild card spot.
Jay swings at one, and he's down on strikes. He really lunged at that one. It fooled him. And Norris opens with a K.
Good darting 2-seam fastball down and away. A feeble hack for John Jay, and Norris off to a good start. Averaging a strikeout per inning pitch. So, so many of the secondary numbers, I don't know if secondary is the right term, but you look at the strikeouts, and the walks aren't bad. They're a little high, but not real bad. Easily be having a much better year in the 1-loss column than he's having.
Matt Carpenter at 300 has 6 homers. He's driven in 44. Carpenter had 2 hits in the opener of this series Monday night. He was 0 for 4 last night. He looks at that one for a ball, and that evens a count of 1-1. Carpenter has a 370 on base average. Playing third base for the injured David Freese, who rolled his right ankle in the indoor batting cage before the game Monday night and is missing this entire series, but reported to be feeling a lot better and could play Friday. 1-2.
2-0 let up there from Norris.
This is the final road game for the Redbirds. They're 38-42 away from Busch Stadium, where they will finish the final 6 games of the season against Washington and Cincinnati. Mike Matheny's club looking good right now. It's a tough finishing stretch against the 2 best clubs in the National League, but they've already clinched playoff spots, and presumably they will be selectively resting some of their players. So that's going to be what the Cardinals face as they go back home and try to clinch a playoff spot again, as they did last year on the final day of the season, coming from 10.5 behind Atlanta. Struck him out looking. Very impressive start for Bud.
Disposing of a couple of left-handed hitters, one swinging, one looking at 2-seam fastballs. Nice job working his way back into the count with that 2-0 changeup. Here's that runner, borderline pitch. Stay right there.
Now Matt Holliday has reached the 100 RBI figure in this series. And strike one to Holliday. He's been playing with a bad back. Holliday drove in a couple of runs in the opener of this series Monday night to get to 100. He has 27 homers and a 296 average with an 884 OPS.
Bud's been battling blister problems. One thing to keep an eye on is the slider. It's the pitch where that blister bothers him more than on the fastball, and so far it's been all fastballs except for that one changeup to Carpenter. He may be trying to stay away from that slider for as long as possible to buy himself some time. Once he starts throwing sliders, that blister may become an issue.
Holliday with 2 home runs off Norris. Takes that one. That's there for a strike. 1-2. And Holliday has driven in 10 against the Astros this season. These Cardinal hitters, who are second in the league in runs scored with 733, have hit .301 as a group against the Astros pitching this year. They've scored 88 runs in 14 games. That's out to second base. As Altuve to Brett Wallace to make it a 1-2-3 first for Bud Norris. The Astros come up against Chris Carpenter right after this. with this lineup. And it's brought to you by Hyundai. Jose Altuve at second base, Scott Moore in right field, Jed Lowry shortstop, Justin Maxwell center field, Red Wallace first base, Jason Castro catcher, Fernando Martinez left field, Brandon Laird third base, and Norris pitching.
Chris Carpenter makes his second start of the year for the Cardinals. And see a profile on him. 51 and 19, 04 through 06. The Cy Young Award winner in 05. He's got the best winning percentage in all of baseball since 2004. Banged up, of course, in 07 and 08, and then returning to form the last 3 years before being injured again this year.
First pitch in the dirt to Altuve for ball one. Carpenter got on the mound against the Cubs last time, as JD mentioned. Altuve at 293 with 5 homers, 35 runs batted in. Looking at that pitch upstairs, and he's at a 2-0 count. Carpenter worked 5 innings in that game against Chicago. Coming back from a nerve problem in his shoulder. And that pitch didn't look good coming out of his hand. It's 3-0.
Force it a little bit. He neurogenic thoracic outlet surgery on July 19th.
Back pretty quickly. 3 balls and a strike.
The assumption was that he was done for the year.
Yes, it was. And he said he didn't think his stuff was that great last time out against the Cubs, but nonetheless, he's been out all year. And he will compete. He is a battler. 3 balls, 2 strikes. Carpenter's 37. Ground ball in the hole. Cosma off balance throw, and what a play by Cosma.
He's made a couple of sparkling plays in this series. Made a play in the hole last night that was very impressive, and now he robs Altuve of a leadoff single. How about that throw?
Just outstanding.
Now, Holiday J. Chambers cover the outfield for the Cardinals tonight. Carpenter, you saw Cosma, Descalzo and Craig on the right side, and Yadier Molina is just a weapon behind the plate.
Scott Moore's a weapon at the plate. There's strike one to Scott. 5-game hitting streak for Scott. He's gone 8 for his last 13. 265, 9 homers, 25 runs batted in. What a terrific month of September with an OPS of 1322. It's 1 ball, 1 strike. Scott Moore making a strong impression on the Astros brass with what he's been doing this month. He's been on base in 17 of his last 30 plate appearances, and he's hitting .467 in September. 2-1 to count. Carpenter drafted in the first round in '93 by Toronto. Signed as a free agent with the Cardinals in '02. Strike makes it 2-2.
That fastball clocked at 92 miles an hour. I watched some of his start against the Cubs, and he was sitting right around 89 miles an hour for most of that outing.
He gets a strikeout. Will he play at 89 miles per hour, or does he have to have a few more?
No, obviously it's all a matter of command. He can survive at 89 if he's keeping the ball down around the knees and getting good movement, and he's capable of doing that. Check Yachty's glove for a foreign substance. How'd he catch that thing? Yeah, got Velcro in there.
So Moore on what looked to be a cutter down on strikes, and now it's Jed Lowry. Jed taking strike 1.
Check this out.
Oh yeah. They're right in the heel of Ed. High to right field. Adrian Chambers over. And it's a 1-2-3 first for both pitchers tonight.
One to look forward to Miller time later in tonight's game, brought to you by Miller Lite. Both pitchers extremely effective in the first. We go to the second. Here's Browning and J.D.
Thank you, Greg. It was a very quick and rapid fire first inning. Bud Norris struck out the first two. Then he got a harmless ground ball. It'll be Craig Molina and Chambers coming up in the second inning as Bud tries to beat this Redbird club for the 8th time in his career. And they have seen him in some of his very best starts, 7-5 and 14 career starts, with that 2.97 ERA since he made his debut in 09. His 7 wins are the most in the majors against the Cardinals since that 09 season. As Bud goes to work here, it's Alan Craig. Carlos Beltran is not in the lineup tonight. Craig had 309 with 22 homers, has 89 runs batted in. An 894 OPS for Allen.
Well, Craig, a guy that Bud Norris has not been able to figure out yet. Craig, 7 out of 14. That's 500. I'll do the math for you.
Okay.
With 2 home runs.
That comes in, and it's ball 1. Apparently a little too far in to Alan Craig. Allen had a couple of hits in last night's game. Are those numbers 7 for 14. Ground ball goes foul, and it's a 1-ball 1-strike count. The Cardinals can reach 500 here at Minute Maid Park if they win this game. They're 53 and 54 here. Well, these two teams have a history going way back to when the Houston Buffs were a farm club of the St. Louis Cardinals. So many fine Cardinal players coming through Houston before they reach the big leagues. 2 hopper to third. Laird with a throw. That's out number 1. The all-time Cardinal greats stopping in Houston to work their way up to the big league club. The Dizzy Deans of the world, the Howie Paulettes. Many, many fine players. Now it's Yadier Molina. Molina at 322, 4th in the batting race with 21 homers, 72 runs batted in, and a 379 on base average. Just another fantastic year for Molina.
Who's Howie Paulette?
He was a good left-handed pitcher. Apple Martin. Greg knows more about Howie Paulette.
Howie was a classic crafty lefty, wasn't he?
Yeah.
He played for the Cardinals. Of course, started here, got some good experience with the Houston Buffs.
They go way back in time.
As left-handed pitchers like Duchesne should know all the great lefties of the past.
Oh, yeah. 2 outs as Laird takes care of both.
I don't know about Howie Paulette. That one escaped me.
Well, JD met a man who worked in Astros PR tonight, and he wrote the press release when JD was traded from the Yankees to the Astros in '85. And he and his wife are here tonight. They saw the first National League game in Houston in 1962, and they're going to see the last National League game in Houston tonight.
And in that release, they compared JD to Howie Paulette.
They said, if this guy can be anything like Howie Paulette, we've landed ourselves a pretty good one.
Adrian Chambers at 234 has driven in 4. So, yeah, how many people are here besides that guy who have seen the first and last games in this city over a period of 51 years? As ball 1 in the National League. Can't be many.
Howie actually lived in Houston and is buried in Houston. He died at an early age, only 53, back in '74.
Won 131 ball games in his career. He was a 3-time All-Star.
Isn't the internet wonderful?
All over the interweb.
The interweb is great. Yeah. No matter what you call it, it works. Fly ball, right center field. That'll hang up. It's a long trip for right fielder Scott Moore, but the center fielder settles underneath it. And Justin Maxwell takes care of that one. 6 straight outs for Bud Norris. Bottom of the second in a moment.
The second and Holy Toledo, it's a Blue Star Gala saluting Hall of Fame broadcaster Milo Hamilton. Join us here at Minute Maid Park on Tuesday, October 16th, as we celebrate Milo and his 27 seasons of broadcasting Astros baseball. There will be a cocktail reception, entertainment, and dinner, and your sponsorship of the event benefits the Astros in Action Foundation. Reserve your table today at astros.com/community. And guys, I'm going to be up with Milo live here in the 5th inning, and then he's going to address the crowd in the... Oh, there, he kissed me pregame. I can't get away from that. But he's also going to address the crowd in the 7th, and we will stay with that and show you, the fans, that live, guys.
Sounds like a plan. Thank you, Patty. It's a 1-ball, 1-strike count to Justin Maxwell. 231, 17 homers, 50 runs batted in as he leads it off here with Brett Wallace on deck. And it's foul back for a 1-2 count for Chris Carpenter. We had a 1-2-3 first thanks to Cosma's sparkling play on Altuve. Cardinals starting pitching has been amazing against the Astros. In tight. JD wondered last night. Here's the answer to your question. Cardinals starting pitchers against the Astros this season. Collectively 11-3 with a 2.93 ERA. Foul ball, but the last 8 games, and this has made an impact on you and other people, JD. Last 8 games against the Astros, Cardinals starters 8-0 with a 1.61.
Yeah, that's kind of what it's felt like. The Astros just have not been able to get anything going against these Cardinal starters. And it's a deep group. They're a very talented bunch.
Cosma back.
The one guy they had whacked around was Jaime Garcia, but he pitched a beautiful game last night.
He sure did. A shutout ball game, and the Cardinals have shut out the Astros 3 times this season. Lucas Harrell has been shut out in 7 of his starts this year. Brett Wallace with a .256 average, 8 homers, 22 runs batted in. Takes that one.
Yeah, you go through a run like that, that's when you start bribing guys in the clubhouse, start offering bounties. Hey, I'll give you $100 for an RBI.
Carpenter deals and Wallace takes it. It's a 1-ball, 1-strike count. Last year Chris Carpenter was 11-9. A lot of no decisions. He made 34 starts. In tight.
So, you know, when we had Jeff Kent on the air with us here last homestand, he talked about how he came to the park when he was playing with this kind of mask on, and he had to hate the other team, and he was a real intense guy. And we saw the other side of him when he was up here. He was very light and kind of blew us away. And Chris Carpenter's that way too. Carpenter, by all accounts, a real good guy, solid citizen. Everybody likes him, very likable fellow. When he's out there on the bump, and if things aren't going well, he gets downright ornery. He is a very tough competitor.
Wallace puts it in the air. The left fielder comes over. Holiday toward the corner. Holiday there to retire him. 2 outs. Carpenter's from Exeter, New Hampshire. 3-time All-State hockey player.
Probably just some digging in the corners.
I know that. The hockey mentality seems to be there when he takes the mound. Jason Castro at .259 has 3 homers. He's driven in 26. Carpenter came up with the Blue Jays in '97. And he really started to pitch well. In 04, he was 15-5 for the Redbirds, and 21-5 in his Cy Young year 05. Had a 13-game winning streak. Castro takes ball 1. Bud Norris is trying to avoid a 13-game losing streak.
That would tie Jose Lima for the longest in club history.
And tight.
So it's a 12-game losing streak for Bud and an 18-start winless streak, during which the Astros have only won 1 time.
Yeah, it's been crazy because he's pitched well enough certainly to get several wins in there in that stretch.
Yeah, and that's kind of the lesson here when you go through a patch like this. You're on a club that's not winning many games. It's difficult as a starting pitcher to pick up W's. You cannot afford to define yourself by that, and because it will just crush you mentally.
Ripped up the line, but foul. Good swing by Castro. 2-2.
When Carpenter's on his game, he's throwing darts to either corner, a little two-seam runner or a cutter, inside corner, outside corner. Occasional hard curveball. Usually keeps the ball down around the knees.
That's strike 3. Well, both pitchers are really on their game so far with 6 straight retired by both right-handers. It's 0-0.
In the Crawford boxes with Crawford Jones. Just announced he is the winner of the You Make the Call Radio Apprentice Contest. Congratulations, Crawford.
Thank you so much. I couldn't be more thrilled to come out and work for the Astros. Ended up working out that get right out of college and come right here. So I'm really happy to be here.
And for those of you who maybe don't know, the Astros ran a contest looking for a radio sideline reporter. About 300 people came out and applied for it, auditioned for it. I was actually one of the judges for the first round. Crawford's the backup quarterback at the University of Houston for the Cougars. So as he said, right out of college, hometown favorite. How much do you think that worked in your advantage? Because the fan vote had so much to do with this.
I was shocked that it had that as much to do with the contest as it did, but I was thrilled when I found out, being from the area, getting to, get a lot of fan votes. And if you don't know anything else about it, you see a guy from Houston in it, hopefully that, sways your opinion one way or the other. Yeah,
and how much did you sway and rock the vote? How many of your football brethren and Cougar alumni over there were out there voting for you?
We did what we could. We have a computer lab upstairs, and so every chance we got, I'd grab a couple guys out of the locker room, like, hey, guys, come here, I want to show you something. Hey, just sit here and start voting, especially the freshmen.
Yeah, absolutely. They had no choice. They had to. Of course, you graduate in December, so you step right into it next year, and give us a little synopsis of what they've told you you're going to be doing.
What they told me so far is be a roving reporter, get to, kind of talk to fans during the game and get to talk to players before and after the game. And so I think it's perfect for me. I think I'm personable, and hopefully the fans will think so too.
Awesome. Of course, business at hand this weekend. You've got the Bayou Bucket, Rice versus U of H. Of course, that is right here on Fox Sports Houston. Big game for you guys. I know you're looking forward to it, playing out at Reliant.
Absolutely. We can't wait. It's obviously a big game every year, no matter what the records are. And we're looking to get back on track, and I know they are too, coming off a loss to UCLA. And, we think we got a good chance, but, they do too. So you never know what happens in these rivalry games. So we're looking forward to it a lot, though.
All right. Well, you have good luck this weekend, and congratulations. And we look forward to seeing you out here all next year.
Absolutely. Thank you so much.
All right, guys.
Congratulations to Crawford. 2-1 to Daniel Descalzo. That's ball 3. Daniel with a .227 average, 4 homers, has 24 runs batted in. Yeah, we look forward to seeing a lot of Crawford next season. Daniel has 3 hits and 7 at bats in this series. Infield shifted around, playing him to pull. And he fouls that one back. 3-2 with Kozma and Carpenter to follow against Bud Norris in a scoreless game in the third.
So they're playing the count, and it was 3-1. Lowry was on the right side of second base. Now that the count's run full, he takes a few steps in the other direction. Back on the shortstop side.
Maxwell's right behind Lowry in left center field. This one goes to right center field. And Scott Moore over. Pretty well hit by Descalzo. It's out number 1 for Norris. Well, we talked about some players who came through Houston, played for the Buffs, then went on to the Cardinals. Howie Paulette won 131 in the big leagues. Played in Houston in the minors and had a 55-16 career minor league record.
And back-to-back 20-win seasons in the Texas League for the Buffs. I mean, that's a guy who earned his call-up to the big leagues, 55-16. So many times you hear the modern players say, well, I've got nothing to prove down there.
You know,
Howie could certainly make that case.
You know, Bill McCurdy, the longtime baseball fan and Sabre member, he knows all about Howie Paulette. He's been roaming around the ballpark today, by the way, Bill, wearing a Midville 9 uniform.
Oh, yeah.
In honor of this final game. But yeah, Paulette was super. Only 19 years old the first time he won 20 here.
Bud Norris throwing that pitch to Pete Kozma, and he falls behind him 2-0. Kozma is 3 for 6 in this series. Bill McCurdy, part of group researching the beginnings of baseball in the city of Houston.
Could be 0-2.
Two balls and a strike with Carpenter on deck. The Cardinals owned the Buffs from 1923 through 1958. So it's a long time association with these two clubs. That's ball 3, and it's 3-1 to Kozma, filling in for the injured Rafael Furcal. Crawford Jones goes to class not too far from old Buff Stadium.
He's a senior. He probably doesn't go to class anymore.
3-2.
He's a quarterback and a senior. He's getting ready to go to work now.
How about that, stepping into a job like the one he's going to get? That worked out well. Swing and a miss, and Norris comes back to strike out Kozma. That's number 3.
Elevated slider, but he got away with it. 8 up, 8 down for Bud.
Now Carpenter, who was 0 for 2 in his first start at Chicago. You mentioned that string for Bud Norris, 18 starts. And the Astros trying to get him back in the win column tonight. His last win was May 21st. At that point, he was 5-1 with a 3.14 ERA, but he has 8 quality starts in those last 18 without any wins.
Lima has the longest losing streak, then Bud, and then Tom Griffin, Dick Drott, and Fernando Abad actually has an active 10-game losing streak.
Okay, I didn't realize that. Carpenter's down on strikes, and Norris has retired the first 9 Redbirds. No score after 2.5. Subway sub prize on the line gives us a look at the American League divisional races. It's New York 2 in front of Baltimore in the AL East. In the AL Central, a dead heat between Chicago and Detroit. In the AL West, Texas 4 games up on Oakland, and they are playing each other.
Great race in the Central, Chicago and Detroit. Here are the remaining games. The Birds have 1 with Toronto, 3 with Boston, and at Tampa Bay. You see the rest of the schedule for those contending clubs. The Angels are 2 back at the second wild card spot. Tampa Bay 3 back.
Now Chris Carpenter works to Fernando Martinez, who looks at strike 1. Fernando at 210 with 3 homers, has 10 runs batted in. He is 0 for his last 15. He's hit by the pitch. First base runner of the game. Martinez aboard for Brandon Laird. Rough month of September for these Astros players. Walking wounded.
We're talking about Carpenter's edge out there in the mound. You can see him after that hit batsman. Normally it's the hitter that's frustrated or upset. Carpenter chapped at Martinez for not getting out of the way. Kind of staring him down.
How else are you going to get on base against this guy? 346 for Brandon Laird. 1 homer. He's driven in 4. He's on a 3-game hitting streak.
Get out of the way. He's going to glare over him at first base too.
He doesn't like guys trying to steal on him. We have seen that before. 1 ball, 1 strike.
You know, some people become irrational out there.
Yeah. He got irate one time when an Astro tried to steal a base on him.
Yelling at Michael Bourne.
That's who it
over
was.
in St. Louis.
Yep. Well, he's working to a catcher who's thrown out 46% of the base stealers this year. It's 2-1 to Laird. Laird 4 for his last 8. Matt Dominguez has been home with the flu the last couple of days. He is feeling much better. Could play tonight, but he should be fine from this point on. Flu bug, though, has affected a few guys on the Astros club. Bud Norris comes out to the on-deck circle. In the hole, Cosmo throws back to second. Then Descalso guns to first. Who's that? Ozzie Smith out there at short?
I don't know what's going on. This was not the scouting report we got on Cosmo, but he's been flying all over that field. Making one great play after another, and not even close at first base.
Nope. Strong throws. Scalzo turning the double play, number 146 for the Redbirds. And now it's Bud Norris. Norris with 5 hits and 47 at bats, has a 106 batting average. Taking all the way, and it's ball 1 for Carpenter. Cardinals have the 6th best ERA in the National League. Their bullpen has been very good. It's 2-0. Milwaukee and the Dodgers tied 4.5 games behind St. Louis for that second wild card spot. Dodgers lost again last night 2-1. Milwaukee lost as well.
Tonight they've turned the tables. The Dodgers leading comfortably 8-0 over San Diego. They've played 6. The Brewers lead Cincinnati 3-1.
2 balls, 2 strikes. Dodgers found Shane Victorino thrown out at the plate trying to score on a hit, and then Matt Kemp was thrown out rounding third on an infield hit. Fly ball to left. Holiday feeling for the wall, but he has room on the track. And only 9 men have come to the plate for each team through 3 with no score. victimized and hits into a double play.
That's why yesterday was Jose Altuve Day in Houston. You pull something like that off, you get your own day.
Smart play. And he was an all-star as well. Bud Norris moves to the 4th inning. It'll be Jay, Carpenter, and Holiday due up for St. Louis. Jay struck out as he led off the game. Those are the numbers for Carpenter and Norris through 3. Roy Oswalt is pitching in relief in the 1st inning for Texas tonight. Oakland got 5. Martin Perez made it through 2/3 of an inning, allowing those 5 runs, and came out with Oswalt working now in relief with Jared Parker going for the A's. Strike to John Jay. Jay takes a look at that one, and it's a 1-1 count.
Likes his changeup tonight. He's hasn't thrown a lot of them, but he's featured it to the left-handed hitters, and he just doubled up on it there with Jay.
It's 1-2. Matt Kemp hit his 20th home run for the Dodgers. And Juan Rivera, number 8. As JD mentioned, they are breezing over San Diego 8-0, bottom of the 7th inning. Kansas City and Detroit are tied 4-4. They're in the bottom of the 6th at Comerica Park. Jay takes a look at it. It's ball 2, and that makes it 2-2. Baltimore is getting out the big bats with a 5-run 5th inning, still batting, leading Toronto 6-2 at Baltimore. Encarnacion hit his 42nd for the Jays. Tome hit one for Baltimore. Smacked on the ground into right center field. First hit of the game. Jay takes a big turn. He's going. Maxwell's throw is offline, and he hustles it into a double. His 19th of the year.
Good player, John Jay.
Yes.
Made a spectacular play in center field here. A juggling play the other night. Competent leadoff guy. Usually sees a lot of pitches. Can steal a base for you. High average hitter. And it's just good instincts here. Sees that ball headed towards the gap. Knows that one of these 2 outfielders has to go a long way to get it and then make a hurried throw. So he presses the action right out of the batter's box.
Jay at second base. Now Matt Carpenter's the batter. Carpenter struck out looking his first time up. Takes that pitch for ball 1. With Holiday on deck.
Carpenter pretty good at spraying the ball all around the field. Norris will be trying to stay away from him because he's going to be anticipating Carpenter trying to pull the ball on the ground to the right side. Carpenter pretty good at pinging it the other way.
This one's in the air to right center field. Scott Moore coming in for it and making that play. Altuve peeled off. One down. And Matt Holliday has been plagued by some back problems. Will come up for the second time. He grounded out to second earlier. It's Atlanta 2, Miami nothing. They're in the bottom of the 6th in Atlanta. Martin Prado hit his 10th home run, and yes, the Braves did indeed celebrate last night.
Saw those pictures.
Chipper Jones doubled in the 9th inning and came home on a game-winning walk-off homer by Freddie Freeman. Foul back, strike 1. Chipper is not a big fan of this one-game wild card playoff. He used the word stupid to describe it. He said 2 out of 3 wouldn't be bad for this wild card. But he said one game, you know, somebody has a bad day or an umpire misses a call or something, that's tough to take. It was that one game.
Referee blows a call in the end zone. Calls it a catch when it should have been an interception. Boom, you're going home.
Yeah.
I mean, really, though, the same principle applies in the best 2 out of 3. The idea that the playoffs are inherently unfair in baseball because baseball is a game that is played every day. It's the long, slow grind, and you're rewarded with being put into this pressure cooker of a 1-game playoff, or what Chipper would prefer to see, a best out of 3. It still doesn't really reflect the nature of the regular season, but it's great drama. It's very exciting.
Big 5.5 game lead for the Braves over St. Louis. So the Braves are in line to host that 1-game wild card playoff as of right now.
The alternative would be no wild card. Just division winners go to the postseason. I mean, that's the purest sense, or the teams with the best record. If you talk about some kind of a radical realignment, and you just took you had American League clubs, National League clubs, 15 of each, and top 3 teams in each league, top 4 teams in each league make the postseason. Play a balanced schedule. That would be the purest schedule.
Chopped. Norris will look at third. Settle for the out at first. Out number 2, Jay advancing.
That pirouette and look to third base probably gave Tony D a little bit of a heart murmur.
Patti Smith.
Well, get ready for a Paul McCartney invasion. McCartney's on the run tour. He's coming to Minute Maid Park on Wednesday, November 14th. Don't miss your chance to see him for the first time in nearly 7 years. Visit all Ticketmaster locations for tickets, Bill.
2 outs now. Runner at third, and Alan Craig is the batter. Craig grounded out to third in the 2nd inning. Patty's got a lot of things planned for tonight. Different features during the game. Final home game of the year for the Astros. Probably your last look at these home uniforms. Pretty good chance the Astros are switching those uniforms. They've already indicated as much, but we just have not seen them, and they'll be unveiled November 2nd. That's ball 1. So a different look, a different division, and a different league for next year when opening day rolls around here at Minute Maid Park against the Texas Rangers.
Bring them on.
Fly ball near the right field line. Scott Moore coming over for it. Wallace watches him go over and make the catch just in fair territory to end the top of the 4th. With no runs a hit and the runner stranded at third. No score.
On Fox Sports Houston is brought to you by the All-American Jack Combo at Jack in the Box. A no-nonsense burger with fries and a drink for only $4.99 plus tax at participating stores. By the all-new Mazda CX-5 with 35 highway miles per gallon. And by the motion picture Looper in theaters Friday. Top of the hour reminds you that we have no score. The only hit of the game, John Jay in the last half inning, but he was stranded on base. Greg Lucas here down on the field, along with Bill Brown and Jim DeShays in the booth. Patti Smith roving. She's going to be doing a bit of it tonight as the Astros come to the plate. Here's Brownie and JD.
Jose Altuve grounded out in the hole to Cosma. Now he smacks one high to left field. This looks like an Altuve long ball way up there in the archway. And it's 1-0 Astros as he bets it for 6th of the year.
There's a no-hitter. There goes the shutout. There goes the baseball. First one in a good long while for Jose Altuve. He did not get cheated. The old man jumped all over that first offering from Carpenter. We talked about how Carpenter's usually pretty good at staying down around the knees. He has elevated some fastballs tonight, and he paid the price for that one.
268 at bats ago. He homered here against Cleveland June 23rd. That was his last one.
Trying to go down and away with a fastball. Carpenter flew open a little bit. Fastball drifted up over the middle of the plate at the letters. Tapia.
0-1 count to Scott Moore. Now no balls, 2 strikes. Altuve, who was robbed by the shortstop as he led off the Astros first, now hit one that nobody could rob him on. He is now 4 for 8 against Carpenter. There's some thunder from the leadoff spot. Moore takes, and it's a 1-2 count. Cardinals have out-homered the Astros in the season series 17-9 now. It's 2-2 to Moore with Jed Lowry on deck. Altuve scored for the 79th time. It's lined but foul. Still 2 balls, 2 strikes. Washington leads at Philadelphia. It's 5-2. Nationals, bottom of the 6th inning. Ian Desmond hit his 25th home run. Bryce Harper, number 20. Kurt Suzuki, number 6.
You know, Bryce Harper might end up winning this Rookie of the Year in the National League after all.
He could. Be an interesting vote. Good sinking action on that one from Carpenter, but Moore was able to foul it to stay alive. 3-2.
Most of the buzz seems to be around Todd Frazier of the Reds for that Rookie of the Year award.
That's out to left center field. John Jay way back into left center field, looking up off the 404 sign, and there's a long double by Scott Moore. Mr. September has a 6-game hitting streak now. 9 for his last 15. That's his 11th double.
Because of the double play in the third, Carpenter had faced the minimum until this inning. Now the Astros put 2 very good swings on him. Home run Altuve, and this bolt off the bat of Scott Moore. He's just locked in. His timing is outstanding. He's not getting fooled. Very balanced in the box. Not chasing bad balls. And a very impressive run.
That one sailed off his bat for extra bases, and now he's on for Jed Lowry. Lowry hit a fly ball to right in the first inning. Carpenter falling behind. It's 1-0 with Justin Maxwell on deck. Tampa Bay leads 3-1 at Boston. They're in the bottom of the 5th inning with Alex Cobb on the mound for the Rays. Ben Francisco hit his 4th home run. Carlos Pena, number 19. Rays putting on a September surge. 2 balls, no strikes. With Oakland's difficult remaining schedule, Rays might get some help.
Tampa has won 6 in a row.
Will the young battling birds of Baltimore be able to hang in there? Having a magical year. Lowry takes a look at it. It's 3-0.
The young battling birds of Baltimore. Sound like you're doing a tease for the next episode of Batman. Will the birds hang on?
Yeah.
Stay tuned. Same bird channel.
Lowry takes it. It's a strike to Jet. 3-1. On Markham, and Milwaukee have the lead 4-1 at Cincinnati. They're in the bottom of the 6th inning. Aoki hit his 10th home run for the Brewers.
And he's a rookie. That's a lengthy career in Japan, but he's classified as a rookie, and he's having a nice year.
True. 3 balls, 2 strikes to Lowry, who's hit .282 against the Cardinals this year with a couple of homers, 4 runs batted in. Wade Miley of Arizona. He's had a nice strong year on the mound. Frazier and Cozart of Cincinnati. That's high to center field, to right field rather, and deep back is Chambers. Chambers at the wall, and he makes that grab. Here's the tag, and Scott Moore will make it to third, and the Astros are taking some very good swings against Carpenter here. We just got underneath it a little bit.
3 consecutive hitters putting very good swings on Chris Carpenter here. This one just stays in the yard for Chambers. The former quarterback, he's got a good arm out there. Went to Mississippi State on a football scholarship.
Matheny brings the infield in with a runner at 3rd and 1 out for Justin Maxwell, who popped a short in the 2nd inning.
We'll find out here pretty soon if Carpenter's got a plan B, because he's been pretty much mostly, if not all, fastballs. You know, a little cutter, a little sinker. It's not straight fastballs, just creating a little bit of movement, the occasional slider. I haven't really seen the curveball or anything real soft to get the hitters off of his fastball.
Maxwell takes it. It's a ball.
And also getting squeezed a little bit by Angel. Which, well, in the right circumstances, getting squeezed by Angel can be a good thing. Here it is not.
1 ball, 2 strikes. Last time Carpenter faced the Astros here in Houston late last season, the Cardinals were tied for the wild card lead on the final day, and he shut out the Astros on 2 hits to win it 8-0. And the Birds celebrated, went on into the playoffs, and won it all.
For me, the highlight of the postseason last year was the game he pitched against Halladay in Philadelphia. He beat the Phils 1-0. I thought that was better in those World Series games.
Yeah. Maxwell takes it.
Just fun to watch those 2 guys go out and compete the way they did.
Absolutely. Great theater. Carpenter won 1 game in the division series, 1 in the league championship series, and 2 in the World Series.
Try to get Justin's chase here.
It's the end of the bat foul. Justin's walked 31 times. He has 108 strikeouts this year. Carpenter has 144 major league wins. He's pitched well here at Minute Maid Park. 4-3 with a 2.54 earned run average, walking 16, fanning 55 in 78 innings. Tap is short. The runner's coming to the plate. Here's the throw from Cosma to Molina. He puts the tag on Moore, and it's out, number 2. Maxwell to first, and Brett Wallace the batter next.
That's a play where people in the stands are probably thinking, well, why did he go? Well, he was going on contact, and probably the one thing he could have done was slammed on the brakes there and tried to get in the rundown to see if Maxwell could get into scoring position. A little bit easier to do when the throw's coming from the other side of the infield. You can see it coming. When it's coming from the shortstop or third baseman, you're not exactly sure what has transpired behind you.
Now Wallace hit the ball into the left field corner, and it was caught by Holiday his first time up.
It's a curveball and a good one.
Wallace worked the count to 3-1 his first time up. Taking strike 1 here. Carpenter has a tremendous record against the clubs in his division, 51-23. It's 1-1. Next year, the Astros move out of the NL Central, leaving it with 5 teams. They move into the AL West, adding a 5th team there, and all 6 divisions in Major League Baseball will have the 5 teams. Easier to schedule that way.
You know that the American League West is the only division in baseball where all their teams are above 500 in the second half of the season.
Ooh, good stat. Yeah, that's going to be a difficult division to join next year. Wouldn't be the one you would choose, would it? Runner takes off. Swing and a miss. Molina's throw bouncing, and there's a stolen base by Maxwell.
Well, I don't know. It's hard to say because for me, you know, baseball is very cyclical. Teams rise and fall. For me, the division you don't want to be in is the American League East because of the Yankees and all the money they have. It seems like they're always going to be spending a lot of money, and to chase them, you've got to either spend a lot of money or just be really, really smart like Tampa. So I think the Astros will be fine in the American League West after a time, and frankly, I don't think they were going to be very competitive next year, regardless of what league or division they went into. You know, they're still in this rebuilding mode. So if ever there were a time to make this kind of a move, for me, this is it.
Foul back. Still 1-2, a chance to learn the new environment in the American League in that division, and for the young players to get a sense of knowledge about their opponents on the Rangers and the A's and the Mariners, the Angels, and acquire that base of knowledge for the future to be able to add to that later on. That's really important for a young player.
And actually, it may benefit the Astros pitchers moving into that league. There's going to be a lot of hitters over there have never seen these young Astros pitchers, and that may play to the Astros' advantage early on.
Certainly could. That's a looping line drive into right field. Chambers can't make a catch. Here's the turn of third, and the throw to the plate. Maxwell is in there, and the throw goes over Molina. It's backed up by Carpenter. The Astros leading it 2-0 as Wallace comes up with a very big 2-out hit after the runner was thrown out at the plate. RBI number 23 for the former Cardinal first-round pick.
Well, Maxwell gets himself into scoring position, and Wallace drives him in. He got jammed a little bit by that cutter up and in. There's the big arm by Chambers. Not accurate. And he airmails it, and that allows Wallace to get into scoring position. Bad play.
Really good.
2 outs. You're not going to throw out Maxwell on a base hit like that. You've got to keep that throw down and keep that back runner out of scoring position.
Wallace comes through. He's now 1 for 10 against Carpenter. That hit a big one, and Castro will try to get him home. Castro was caught looking in the second inning. Chambers really flung that one. Carlos Beltran, who was on the bench tonight, has 10 outfield assists, but he just was not moving well last night at all. Had some knee and back problems this year, and he looked like a guy who was trying to play hurt. Castro takes a look at strike one. Broken bat roller. Descalzo over to Craig. And the Astros grab the lead with 2 runs on 3 hits and a man left. They lead it through 4, 2-0.
That means we're going to take a look at the Astros starting pitcher schedule for Friday. Edgar Gonzalez. He's going to be battling that hamstring problem that pulled him out of the game early in his last start, 1 2/3 innings. But he's got good numbers when he's been healthy, 2-1 with a 3.94. And he will be on the mound against Giovanni Gallardo. This has been your Mazda Game Break.
Well, the Lancaster Jethawks brought home a title in the California League. And their manager and some coaches were honored on the field. After this moment, gave them the rings. California League champions. Out in Lancaster this year, Fred Nelson, Alan Rowan on the left there congratulating. Rodney Linares, the manager, Don Alexander, the pitching coach, Darryl Robinson, hitting coach. Here to get those congrats tonight for the crowd. Smiles all around. Yadier Molina leads it off in the 5th inning. It's 2-0 Astros. Molina grounded out to third earlier. It's ball 1. Adrian Chambers will be next, and then Daniel Descalzo. Cardinals and Astros are both off tomorrow. Cardinals will be home Friday night against the Nationals. Adam Wainwright pitching for St. Louis. It's a 1-ball, 1-strike count. And the Astros will be in Milwaukee. Edgar Gonzalez against Giovanni Gallardo. Greg previewing that. And then Saturday, Dallas Keuchel and Marco Estrada. That is not a televised game for us. Sunday, Jordan Lyles and Mike Fiers. 2 balls, 1 strike for Bud Norris. Had 54 pitches in this game. That's foul back. 2-2 to Molina. Chris Maloney, the first base coach of the Cardinals, was talking about Molina before the game tonight during batting practice. Just what a rock he has been. He said, well, you know, if you ever want to lean on a guy, it's a guy like Molina. He plays whenever you need him to. He's a terrific leader. In tight, ball 3. Such a good hitter. Nice knowledge of the game to call the pitches.
Just get out of the way of that heater from Norris.
He has thrown out a much higher percentage of runners this year than he did last year. Fly ball to right field, backs up Scott Moore. He's still going back. Now backpedaling just in front of the wall. 1 long out. Chambers will be next.
And Molina offensively, you know, used to be just a nice complementary piece, a contributor in that lineup. Now he's become one of the mainstays, hitting for more power than ever before, and he just misses his 22nd home run there.
Cardinals have 5 players with at least 20 home runs this season. Chambers at .234 has no homers. He has 4 runs batted in. He's had 47 major league at bats this year. He's 25 from Pensacola, Florida. Pensacola Junior College, 38th round draft choice in '07 by the Birds. Strike to Chambers. He made the postseason roster last year. Got a few at bats. He tops this one. Wallace tossing to Norris. 2 outs. And Descalzo will follow.
The whole key to that play is the first baseman being decisive. Go ahead and get it. That lets the pitcher know that he's got to bust it over there to cover first base. Sometimes if the first baseman comes off the bag a little bit and is hesitant, the pitcher will slow down thinking that the first baseman is going to return to the bag. You shouldn't, but sometimes you see that happen. But if the first baseman commits early, then you know you've got to cover that base.
Two outs. Descalzo hit the fly ball to right on a 3-2 count back in the third. Scott Moore ranging over to right center to catch it because Maxwell starts out in left center on Descalzo. Strike for Norris. In Bud's career, he's 16-14 here at Minute Maid Park with a 3.60 ERA. It's 0-2 to Descalzo. Bud Norris had a 3.77 ERA last year. He was 6-11. He gets a strikeout, and that's number 5. In the middle of the 5th inning, it's the Astros 2 and the Cardinals nothing.
Bottom of the 5th, and I'm interrupting the radio broadcast to kidnap this man right here, Milo Hamilton, in the midst of this, his final call for the Houston Astros, final call ever. How are you handling tonight so far, Milo?
It's been good. I think maybe I got some of the emotion out at the press conference and early this morning on some radio shows, but I'm doing fine, and I usually get the middle 3 innings off tonight, but they said stick around so that folks will know you're still here.
And that's my job, to come in here and let the folks know that you are still here. You know, while the fans are watching at home, I know you're going to address the fans here at Minute Maid in the 7th inning, but is there something you'd like to say to the fans out there that have been watching you for all these years?
Well, I think I have to tell them you've been marvelous to me, 28 years. You've been in support of me and some of the bumps in the road I've had health-wise, and losing 2 key members of my family, my wife and my daughter, within a year of each other, and the outpouring has been fabulous. And I'm hearing a lot of folks today wishing me well and thanking me for the memories, and I thank the fans for the memories too.
Well, we do thank you for the memories, and before I let you go, I know you've answered this many times, but let's say as a Houston Astro broadcaster, what has been the memory that stands out most for you?
Well, I think you start right there with the Scott no-hitter in '86 and follow it up with Biggio's 3,000. And the fact that the career encompassed the 3,000 hits plus, that would be number 1, and Scotty would be 1A.
And of course, you will remain with the organization doing some things. You want to just tell everybody where we can find you?
Right after the line drive goes to right and it's caught, and that's an out in the inning. No, I'll be here. I'm going to be doing a lot of things for the ball club. Going to be an advisor to Mr. Crane, the new owner. And that sounds kind of nice.
Really?
Yeah, I mean, I know that I'm going to be here, going to do a handful of games each year, do Astroline. So I'll be here, and I'll follow your career too, you know.
Well, good. Well, yeah, you're not letting me go here, so I don't think I'm going to get too far. You did say that baseball was a radio sport. However, you are on TV right now, and I trust you'll be watching it on TV at some point.
I will. I like the pictures, and I'll have the radio on so I can hear the radio game.
All right, Milo, it's been a pleasure. It's been an honor. I've enjoyed working with you.
One more?
One more.
Oh, God.
Here we go, guys.
Oh. Herb is going to be jealous, Patty.
Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, did you know that Herb Deshays kind of does that to me once in a while, too? You might have to battle it out with him.
Son of a gun.
Yeah, how about that?
Well, there's nothing like competition.
That's true. That's true. I've always said I'm pretty popular in that 85 and up demographic.
Stop that.
Love you, Milo.
Love you. Thanks for everything, Patty.
And that's a sacrifice for Norris, who's hoping to beat it out for a hit. Put down a good bunt. But the Cardinals got him for out number 2. And Fernando Martinez, who led off the inning with a single, gets to second base.
Run, buddy, run. Good hustle. Play the game. Play the whole game.
Game that is going very well for Bud Norris so far with a 2-0 lead. Now, with 2 outs, it's Altuve. We had a high home run in the 4th inning under that archway above the Landry's Crawford boxes. He was robbed by the shortstop his first time up. And the strike one. Fabulous career for Milo Hamilton. He has served the fans very well down through the years. He's made a lot of fans for baseball. It's been fun being around him, and it's nice that he is going to stay in the organization. The ball again to shortstop. This one a tough play, and he can't make the play. Cosma can't pick it up on a second try either. And it's first and third, 2 outs as Altuve reaches. He just needed to roll it a little bit slower than he did in the first inning.
Cosma's made some spectacular plays. This time he just comes up empty. If he gets it cleanly, he's probably going to get Altuve, but he clanked it, and the Astros with an opportunity to add on.
Martinez to third, and it's first and third for Scott Moore, who hit a double to left center last time. It's ruled an error on Cosma. His third of the year. Moore struck out in the first inning before that long double in the 4th. Scott's hit .217 against St. Louis coming into this game. This one up the right field line. Chambers over. And in the 5th inning for the Astros, it's no runs, 1 hit. 1 error, 2 men left after 5, 2-0 Houston. Run from Jose Altuve, and they scored another run on a single by Brett Wallace in that 2-run 4th. AT&T has trivia. Freddie Freeman's walk-off homer last night was the 7th time in history a player hit a walk-off to put his team into the postseason. Who hit the other 6? Well, let's see. Bobby Thompson, right? Was that? That's one of them.
Giants win the pennant. The Giants win the pennant.
Yeah, and then Evan Longoria. Did he do it last year? Okay. That's another one. see, to get into the postseason. Boy.
Russell Bedioiskin.
Bud Norris leading 2-0. Has given up 1 hit through 5. It'll be Pete Kozma, who struck out in the 3rd inning, leading it off here in the 6th. Chris Carpenter out to the on-deck circle, and then John Jay, the leadoff man, is due up 3rd. Home run to walk-off homer to reach the postseason.
Oh no, I'm just going to eat Milo's cake.
Good cake, isn't it? We got the light colored cake. Chocolate was good too.
Was there chocolate cake in there?
There was.
I missed that one.
Not too many pieces. They disappeared quickly. Strike 2 to Kozma. Kozma tried to check. The appeal went down to first, and he did not check. Hickox with the call. Strikeout number 6 for Bud Norris.
Second time Kozma's punched out. We talked about Bud and that slider early on. First inning he was pumping fastballs, but the slider has been there for him as well. Here's the cake. Still think we should do a blend baseball with this whole food TV concept.
We could work with that.
Bring, chefs on and cook and do like the Today Show.
Strike 1 to Carpenter.
Be a way to introduce our viewers next year to the American League.
That's true.
The cuisine of these different cities we're going to.
Seattle would be fish, right?
Yeah, fish.
Salmon, maybe.
Maybe salmon and a cup of coffee.
No balls, 2 strikes. So is your concept of that the fact that we don't talk, we just eat throughout the entire 3 hours?
Well, basically, it's people bring us good food to eat. Under the guise that we're going to give them some bogus publicity.
Off the glove of a diving Altuve, and Carpenter is aboard. A single for Carpenter, hit number 2 for the Redbirds.
The old bail and whale. Step in one direction and punch it the other way. But effective.
And he hit it hard enough to get it off the glove of Altuve and on through into right field. Brett Wallace is not going to hold Carpenter. With 1 out, it's John Jay. Jay doubled to right center the 4th and was stranded at 3rd base. Jay's the only Cardinal who's reached 2nd in this game. CC Sabathia and the Yankees won at Minnesota 8-2. Sabathia goes to 14-6.
Big man punched out 10 for the Yankees today.
That's ball 1. They're looking good. Pull ahead of Baltimore a little bit further. That's the 11th 90-win season for the Yankees in the last 12 years. Out to right field. Scott Moore into right center. 2 outs. Greg.
Hey, this moment in Astros history is brought to you by the MD Anderson Cancer Center, making cancer history. And this was also baseball history. It was in 1981. And Nolan Ryan threw his 5th of 7 career no-hitters. That broke the tie with Sandy Koufax. His only one with the Astros. The Astros defeated the Dodgers 5-0 on national TV. Years later, we saw Joe Garagio's scorebook. He still had it as he was making the call on NBC. That was this moment in baseball history. And there was one that... well, it's a JD memory. 1978, last Major League game at Jerry Park, your old boyhood park up in Montreal.
Moved into Olympic Stadium.
Strike to Carpenter. Carpenter's 0 for 2. Jerry Park. It was a charming little place, wasn't it?
The stadium wasn't really big, but the dimensions where the playing field was pretty big.
Had a swimming pool beyond the right field fence. Willie Stargell hit one in there. I'm sure other players did too. Carpenter swung at it.
I didn't realize they played through 78 at Jerry Park because the Olympics were in 76 in Montreal.
Yeah.
It took them a while, I guess, to
well, I don't think
pull
that's
the plug
right.
on Jerry Park.
because they moved into Olympic Stadium, Greg. Wasn't it during the 76 season after the Olympics? No.
It says 78, but of course, you know, we could be wrong. But I do know it took a little time to cut it back down from Olympic size.
Okay. Well, maybe it was. 1-2.
Perhaps they were sharing. You know, who knows? Maybe they played some games there and totally moved out of Jerry Park in 78. I'll do a little more research.
Okay. There probably aren't three people who really care that much about it.
Well, I know, but we got to be faithful to those three people.
Yeah. Grounded foul. Back to trivia, brought to you by AT&T, about those walk-off home runs that put teams into the postseason. There they are. Longoria, Bruce against the Astros in 2010. Steve Finley, Alfonso Soriano, Hank Aaron, and Bobby Thompson. Didn't realize Hank Aaron had one of those in 57. An 11th inning home run, we're told.
I have no memory of Jay Bruce hitting a walk-off home run. Flames.
I think it was off Tim Burdack.
Where were we, up there?
Yeah. We were in Cincinnati.
And they all poured on the field and jumped up and down and
Yep.
all that good stuff. I have no memory of that whatsoever. Must have blocked it out.
It's all right, pal. We've done a lot of games. Now we'll have to, what do we do now with our National League members? Just file them aside and wait for new American League members.
Download them.
Download
them on a file. A little zip drive.
Fast forward to AL baseball. And what a difference that's going to be going to places like Toronto, St. Petersburg. Totally different stops on the itinerary next year. 2 balls, 2 strikes. But for the fans who have come out all this year to see this last round of National League play, now they get to see those American League clubs and some National League teams coming in here next year. So by the end of next year, they've seen every team in baseball here at Minute Maid Park.
This would have been a good town for a scout to relocate to this year.
It would have. Norris with the toss. He gets Carpenter. It's no runs, a hit, and a man left. It's 2-0 Astros after 5.5.
Astros. Great show. I just have to. Emily Ruppert with her Chevy Hometown Kids, 10 a.m. on Fox Sports Houston. And I know if you've wondered what happens after the baseball season, well, I went to the website, and you can too, hometownkids.tv. And they're starting the new fall season. So even though we won't be telling you about it, you don't have to miss any of the editions. 10 a.m. on Sundays, Fox Sports Houston.
Thanks, Greg. 2-0 Astros, and it's Lowry leading off, bottom of the 6th inning. Jed has hit 2 fly balls to right field.
You got a kick out of watching those little guys dance.
Yeah. Strike 1 to Lowry. Well, in the tight AL Central, and it doesn't get any tighter than a tie between Detroit and the White Sox. We'll update those scores. It's the off-speed pitch for Carpenter, and he keeps it down and gets strike 2 on the swing from Lowry. Detroit got a run at the bottom of the 8th and leads Kansas City 5-4 now, moving to the 9th inning with Jose Valverde in the game. And the White Sox are earlier in their game. They're tied 3-3, bottom of the 4th at home against Cleveland. It's Oakland 7, Texas 3. They're in the top of the 3rd at Arlington. Tanner Shepard's in the game now for Texas. Roy Oswalt came in relief in the 1st inning. Tap foul. Yu Darvish missed a turn. He's supposed to be in line to return to their rotation. The Rangers not really pressing it, making sure that they have a club that's as healthy as they can get it for the playoffs. The Mets lead Pittsburgh 6-0 after 8. Lowry swings and misses at that one in the dirt, and he's tagged out, 1 out. Strikeout number 3 for Carpenter. Somebody was talking about a positive on the Pirates this year. Here's the strikeout.
Good hook from Carpenter. He had Lowry out in front of first, the changeup, then the slow curveball. He's made an adjustment after the top 3 in the order took some pretty good whacks at him back in the 4th.
He did. Strike 1 to Maxwell. Max 0 for 2, but he stole a base and scored a run. The Pirates have won 76 games. That's an improvement in the win column. They haven't won that many since '99, so that's a positive for them. They've lost 78, and everybody's focused on the fact that they've had 19 straight losing seasons. They're 2 games under 500 this year and about to go 3 under, it would appear.
Yeah, you can't sell that in the Pirate clubhouse right now. The notion of, come on, guys, we got to finish above 500. They were in the playoff hunt for 3/4 of the season, and finishing above 500 is just not enough to get anybody overly excited in that clubhouse right now.
Chambers with a catch, 2 down.
I'm not saying they're mailing it in and not trying, but that's not going to give them an extra boost.
True. 2 outs for Carpenter. Now it's Brett Wallace. Wallace singled in a run in the 4th inning. He's 1 for 2. Dodgers won 8-2 at San Diego. Aaron Horan going to 10-10. He beat Clayton Richard, who's 14-13. Camp and Rivera hitting homers. Ball 1 to Wallace. Well, the Dodgers have been slipping. They've had all kinds of problems scoring runs. Even after the big acquisitions they made. 1 today, 8-2. 1 ball, 1 strike.
Now, even though he's on the wrong side of the decision right now, Mike Matheny has to be really pleased with what he's seen out of Chris Carpenter tonight in terms of his stuff. The location was a little wobbly at times. He looks like he's ready to go. He could very well be their guy in that 1-game wild card play-in.
Sure could be.
Assuming they get there, they still have a little work to do.
2-2. He's had 91 pitches for the night. 59 have been strikes. He's still getting good movement. Colorado leads the Cubs 3-0. They're in the last of the 3rd at Coors Field. Blackmon hit his 2nd home run. Bouncer rolls by the mound. Scalzo backhanding and throwing to make it a 1-2-3-6 for Carpenter. Astros 2, Cardinals 0.
Astros baseball on Fox Sports Houston is brought to you by Hyundai. If it's stylish, intelligent, safe, and affordable, it's probably a Hyundai. By AT&T, rethink possible. And by Mattress Firm, save money, sleep happy. Well, speaking of happy, both managers have to be very pleased with the work they're getting from their pitchers. And the Astros skipper, Tony DeFrancisco, is happy that his hitters have given him a couple of runs. Don't forget, in the 7th inning, this inning, Milo will be speaking to the fans, and we will be staying here, so be aware of that. Don't run away at the end of the half inning.
If you see a puff of white smoke come out from the radio booth, that means they've named a successor to Milo.
Well, Crawford Jones is moving in.
Yeah, he's pretty good for baseball. You know, his middle name is Dow. Crawford Dow Jones. Should know stats.
Well, that or be working at CNBC.
Now it's 2-0. Bud Norris looks out at Justin Maxwell. Is getting set in center field with Matt Holliday leading it off here in the 7th inning. Holliday is grounded out twice. Cardinals have been held to 2 hits, a J double leading off the 4th inning, and a 1-out single by Carpenter in the 6th. There's strike one to Holliday. 18,712 is the total for tonight's final home game of the year for attendance.
Bud Norris continues to improve upon a league best home ERA. .90 is home ERA coming into this game.
2 balls, 1 strike. With the 18,000 plus, the Astros are drawing tonight. That puts them over 1,600,000, around 1,607,000 in home attendance for the season. Pitch is up apparently, and it's 3 balls and a strike. Holliday backing away.
Slump of the shoulders from Norris. Frustrated with Angel Hernandez, but clearly it was inside.
Lefty Xavier Cedeno's warming up for Houston. That's a strike. Now Holliday looks back. Okay. One each way, and it's 3-2.
Well, he got them both right. First one was in. This one was on the plate at the knees. Right there, number 5. Fox Tracks does not lie.
Fly ball to center. Maxwell waiting. It's going down for Norris. He's into bonus time now. 82 pitches for Bud.
Day out in front of this slider. Lazy pop up. A little angry. Wanted to break his bat. Could not. That's when you know it's going bad. When you're so mad you want to snap your bat, you still can't do that.
Alan Craig is 0 for 2 as grounded to third and flied to right. As Bud Norris tries to hit the win column for the first time since May 21st. He leads 2-0. Not a safe lead, certainly, as he tries to snap this 12-game losing streak. Mark Zepchinski warming up for the Redbirds. There's strike one.
Now he's floating that changeup down and away to a right-handed hitter. This is as good as we've seen Bud all year.
Bud's worked his way through an assortment of injuries this year. A hip, a knee, blisters, fly ball to right center. Maxwell puts that one away. Craig retired. 2 outs. And Molina comes up next. This is a team hitting .272, leading the league in on-base average, 4th in slugging. Cardinals have 2 base runners through 6 2/3 innings. Norris is 7-5 lifetime against them with a 2.97 ERA. And it'll be Molina coming up. He's grounded to third and flied to right. Baltimore's pounding Toronto 12-2 in the top of the 9th at Baltimore. Machado's hit a couple of home runs for the O's. has hit his 23rd, and Chris Davis has hit 2. He's at 28 for Baltimore. Fly ball to right. What a night for Bud Norris. 7 innings of 2 hits, shutout baseball, and the Astros lead it 2-0. Milo Hamilton will address the crowd here at Minute Maid Park in his final game as an Astros broadcaster.
Ladies and gentlemen, after 59 years broadcasting Major League Baseball, 28 of those years as the voice of your Houston Astros, our own Hall of Fame voice of the Astros, Milo Hamilton, is calling his last game this evening. Now, ladies and gentlemen, a few words from our Hall of Famer.
How's everybody doing? Can you give me a couple of more runs in this inning? I want my last game to be a win. Let me tell you, I've been here 28 years. You fans have absolutely been outstanding. You backed me all the time since I got here. You've been through a lot of things with me, with losses in my family and some health problems. But I heard from a lot of you a lot of the time, and I can't thank you enough. Just know it's from the heart. Thank you, Astro fans. If you aren't the best in the world, I don't know who is. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. And you really know what kind of fans you are? Holy Toledo, great fans.
Milo Hamilton has had several emotional points today, and that one probably was as emotional as any, although he kept it in check, addressing the crowd, and it's a nice one tonight. 18,712, one of the larger crowds of recent games. Let's take a look at the game summary that he's been calling. That's been the man on the field, Bud Norris. He's been superb. He has struck out 6, only allowed 2 hits, and only thrown 87 pitches through 7 innings. This is the Bud Norris of May, and he is really on top of things defensively, offensively, and here's the offensive blow by Altuve that got him a 1-0 lead.
There's
the second run coming in on Wallace, a single, and that's where we stand, 2-0, as we are getting set for the bottom of the 7th. Guys?
Thanks, Greg. And we have a pitching change for the Cardinals. Mark Zepchinski comes in. Chris Carpenter got the Redbirds through the first 6, but trails 2-0. And the Astros come up now after Milo addressed the crowd here. Everybody in a great mood tonight. Zepchinski is 1-3 with a 4.37 ERA in 45 1/3 innings. He has struck out 32 and walked 17. Sam Freeman has come in for more and more later inning assignments as the other lefty in the Cardinal bullpen who's been effective lately. Zepchinski has not been able to put together quite the performances he had last year after he was traded from Toronto to the Cardinals. It's Jason Castro to lead it off. He's 0 for 2 and taking ball 1. Chris Carpenter in 6 innings tonight allowed just 4 hits and 2 runs. Carpenter did not walk a man. He struck out 3 and hit a batter through 92 pitches. Castro takes a look at ball 2.
I'm talking about Carpenter and whether Mike Matheny would go to him for that wild card playing game, and remains to be seen. Right now, according to a story out of St. Louis, Kyle Loesch is on line in terms of days rest to make that start. It's a tough call for Matheny. I mean, you couldn't go wrong with Loesch, Wainwright, or Carpenter.
That's why the Cardinals could be pretty well equipped to go deep into the postseason with that kind of choice in the rotation. Loesch has the best winning percentage around.
Yeah, they have guys that, especially because of their offense, they'll keep you in games. They're not going to go out there and just implode. They don't have a David Price type guy that's just going to go out, I mean, any one of those guys is capable of dominating. Price would be the type of guy to be more likely to do that.
Castro grounds out to Descalzo, 1 out for Zepchinski. Salas warming up in the bullpen for St. Louis. Now another left-handed hitter due up, but Fernando Martinez is not going to bat. It's going to be Brandon Barnes pinch hitting for him to give the Astros a right-handed bat here. And Salas available if Matheny wants to switch and bring in a different pitcher. But Fernando was hit by a pitch and he singled, so he did well in his 2 plate appearances. Now Barnes gets a shot. 207 for Brandon. 1 homer. He's driven in 7. And takes strike 1. So also give the Astros a good outfield coverage with Barnes and Maxwell in 2 of those positions, both very fast. It's a 1-ball, 1-strike count. Zepchinski turned 27 in late August. Fly ball over shortstop. Cosmo watches it as he runs out, and it's sliding. Holiday can't get there either. That's a pop fly pinch single for Barnes.
Down off the end of the bat, just a little lazy pop up into shallow left center field. Holiday was deep. Jay not able to get there. Thing of beauty for Barnes.
Brandon Laird in the number 8 spot tonight has bounced into a double play and line to right.
See that a lot. A hitter kind of takes a big swing and it'll freeze an outfielder, much like when a quarterback pump fakes and the defensive back freezes. That's what happens. A center fielder on a swing like that. A little hesitation, and then by the time they get started, it's too late.
Laird taking strike 1 there. Bud Norris is in the on deck circle. Now he's walking back toward the bench. Getting some instructions. Bouncer Zepchinski throwing to Descalso, but he only got the one out there. He fired it, and it wasn't chest high either. So all they could get was one with that hard throw and that offline throw. Descalso having to reach back to his right and go down on a knee almost.
Yeah, it looked like a tailor-made double play ball right back to Zepchinski. He hesitates a little bit to buy a little time that he didn't really have to. Then he threw a 90-mile-an-hour sinker.
Now 2 outs and Norris bats, but 0 for 1 with a sac bunt. Altuve's on deck. And the throw goes over. Zepchinski was drafted by Toronto in the 5th round in 07. He's from Yorba Linda, California. Went to Cal Riverside. Last year he appeared 71 times for Toronto and St. Louis. He was involved in that major trade. Colby Rasmus and 3 other players going to the Blue Jays. Tap to third. Carpenter throwing out Norris to end the Astros 7. No runs, a hit, and a man left. We move to the 8th. 2-0 Houston.
and welcome back to Minute Maid Park as we go to the top of the 8th inning. And we've been celebrating Milo Hamilton night all night long. And it's also time to remind you about the Blue Star Gala saluting the Hall of Fame broadcaster. Join us here at Minute Maid Park on Tuesday, October 16th, as we celebrate Milo and his 27 seasons of broadcasting Astros baseball. There's going to be a cocktail reception, entertainment, dinner, and your sponsorship to this event benefits the Astros In Action Foundation. So be sure to reserve your table today at astros.com/community. Bill?
Thanks, Patty. Bobby Dynamite dancing for the fans here. Final farewell appearance for 2012 for Bobby. Meanwhile, outfield alignment has changed for the Astros. Justin Maxwell has moved from center field to left field. Brandon Barnes takes over in center field after pinch hitting for Fernando Martinez. And it's Bud Norris on the mound in the 8th inning. He has not recorded an out in the 8th inning this season. He's gone 7 innings 6 times. Adron Chambers is 0 for 2.
Well, that's one way to snap a losing streak. Pitch a shutout.
You bet it is. He is making a statement tonight, especially against the Redbird club with 10 straight wins against Houston this year. It's in for a strike. 1-1 to Chambers. Laird's in on the grass at third base. Now 2-1. Way up.
Cardinals in jeopardy of losing a game to both the Dodgers and the Brewers. Dodgers have already won, and the Brewers with a comfortable lead over the Reds, 7-1, as they head to the bottom of the 8th in Cincinnati.
That's a strike, and it's a full count on Chambers.
Cardinals currently 7-1 in this stretch against the Astros and Cubs. 3 series that a lot of folks were pointing to where the Cardinals could really gain some separation, and they've taken care of business. Swept the Astros in St. Louis, took 2 out of 3 from the Cubs in Wrigley, and have won the first 2 games of this series.
The Mets blank Pittsburgh in New York 6-0. Hefner the winner, Locke the loser. Atlanta shut out Miami 3-0. Maholm the winner, Johnson the loser. Had hit him.
Hit him or did it hit the knob of the bat?
Well, that's a fair question. Bud Norris thinks it hit the knob of the bat. Now Tony DeFrancesco is going to press that argument with Angel Hernandez, as Jason Castro is right now.
Well, if you're Bud, obviously you're worked up about this, but you can't let it affect your approach going forward. Press your case. You know you're not going to win the argument. And then go back and refocus and get ready to pitch. Hard to tell. Just the way the ball came off, I thought it hit the knob of the bat. Looks like Bud is arguing that Chambers didn't get out of the way.
Looks like he is.
And they're not going to call that.
No.
It's one thing, every now and then you'll see it where a hitter will lean into a pitch. Kind of hard to tell, isn't it?
It is hard to tell.
I was basing it on Chambers' reaction. Usually if you get hit in the hand with that pitch, you're a lot more animated.
Right. It looked like it might have caught that fleshy part of the hand. Not that that makes it feel any better. Well, he's hit by the pitch, and the count is 1-0 on Descalso. Descalso's 0 for 2. Chambers runs very well. A slicing line drive. Maxwell over, and it's back into the seats. 1 ball, 1 strike.
Bud has not made many pitches from the stretch tonight. Been 5 3 up, 3 down innings through the first 7.
He's thrown 96 pitches. He threw 111 in his last start in St. Louis. That took him through 5 1/3. Glittering numbers for Norris tonight. Bouncer foul.
Scalzo did not have good swings last time up at the off-speed stuff. It looks like he's on the fastball. Has been throughout this series, and including the games in St. Louis. That's some really good swings. Sneaks up on you because he's only hitting 226.
22 pitches Norris has thrown from the stretch tonight. Scalzo, it's a foul ball. Still a 1 ball, 2 strike count. Cardinals are 4-1 on this road trip. Now Castro goes out to talk with Norris.
Bud called him out. He wants to talk over this pitch. He went back to the slider down. Slider's had good depth, good downward movement on it tonight. There's a whack that one off his front foot.
Tampa Bay leads 4-2, batting in the top of the 8th at Boston. Washington 5, Philadelphia 4 after 8 in Philly. Oakland 8, Texas 3. They're in the last of the 4th in Arlington. As JD mentioned, Milwaukee trying to close out Cincinnati. 8-1 Brewers, bottom of the 9th. Braun hit his 41st. Another MVP type season for Ryan Braun. Bouncer first. Wallace can't field it. Altuve tracks it down. It's first and second, nobody out on the bouncer that got by Wallace through his legs. An error on Wallace, his 8th.
It's fairly routine, and Wally just bucknered it. Sorry, Bill. Brett turning to make a throw as if he had the ball.
Tony DeFrancesco now comes out. 99 pitches for Norris. Looks as if Bud is reassuring him that he is fine to stay in this game and face Pete Kozma. And the pitcher spot would come up next. It's like Carlos Beltran is out in the on-deck circle. First and second, nobody out. Kozma has struck out both times.
Now, how do you play it here if you're the Cardinals? Do you have Kozma bunt? The 2 men in scoring position for Beltran.
Might very well do that because of the swings he's had tonight against Bud. Cardinals 0 for 3 with runners in scoring position. The Astros certainly expect a bunt the way Wallace is creeping in, and Laird. He squares, and that's strike 1. Laird that time was headed back to third base.
A key here for the Astros defensively is make sure you get an out. Don't get crazy trying to nail a lead man. I mean, if it's there for you and it's an easy play, take it. Otherwise, make sure you get an out here. Too many times this year in these situations they have failed to get an out trying to do too much.
1-1. Now Bud really bounces around and can get to a lot of balls.
Yeah, and Bud's one of those guys he does because he is athletic. Puts himself into a harm's way sometimes. He'll get on a ball and try to make a heroic play and make an errant throw.
Maybe that last high pitch he might have been thinking about getting off the mound and getting set to field a bunt. That's in the dirt. And now it's 2-1.
hate to concede anything in this situation, but Chambers' speed down there at second base. Descalzo obviously is getting a huge lead because Wally has to play in for the punt.
Showing bunt early. Cosmo puts it down, but it trickles foul. Now 2-2. Trying to keep the bunt on with 2 strikes in the count. Jose Oquendo walking over. 103 pitches for Norris. Bud made his first major league start against the Cardinals in August of '09 in St. Louis. Had a no-hitter through 5. And went 7 shutout innings. Won it 2-0. Later that year, he beat John Smoltz and the Redbirds here 3-0 with 6 more shutout innings. So 13 scoreless frames in 2 starts to begin his career against the Redbirds. He's lost 3 starts in a row to them this year. Cosmo strikes out. He's called for that one. He's out number 1. Strikeout number 7 for Norris.
A little half swing and a slider. Just on or just off that outside edge. You see it there, number 5, a borderline pitch, and Bud's been painting that outside corner with regularity tonight. It's a hat trick for Cosmo.
Now Carlos Beltran, who gets his share of boos in Houston, comes to the plate. Tony DeFrancesco may want a lefty to turn him around. He is 7 for 21 lifetime against Norris. And Bud has thrown 104 pitches. Well, that'll be it for Bud Norris tonight. Fantastic night for Bud Norris. He leads with a 2-0 lead. He cannot be the losing pitcher in this game. We'll be right back. In second, 1 out. Bud with 7 1/3 innings, allowing 2 hits, no runs, with no walks. He hit a batter, struck out 7. He leaves with a 2-0 advantage, and the Astros go with the closer, Wilton Lopez, here in the 8th inning to try for a 5-out save.
Wilton picked up his 7th save the last time he pitched. That was 3 days ago against the Pirates. 4-1 Astros win. So he should be well rested. If you can get Beltran to roll over on that sinker.
Carlos 3 for 7 against Wilton Lopez in his career. Beltran had been 7 for 21 against Norris. They had both pitchers' numbers, so to speak. And there is ball 1. He homered on Saturday to give him his 4th career 30 home run season. He's hit into 8 double plays and 120 chances. All-Star this year. Pops one first base side foul. 1 ball, 1 strike. Carlos Beltran was traded to the Astros in 04 from Kansas City in a 3-team deal. And he spent just a few months here, but he is the all-time postseason home run leader for Houston with 8. He hit 4 in the division series and 4 in the league championship series in 04.
Carlos 0 for 8 so far in this series with 4 strikeouts. Has just not taken good swings, has not looked good in the batter's box. We know how quickly that can change.
Yep. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Beltran, 35 years old. He signed a 2-year deal early this season before spring training with the Cardinals in January.
What a huge acquisition it proved to be, with Pujols leaving via free agency and Berkman missing 3/4 of the year.
Flicks that one foul. Still a 1 ball, 2 strike count. Last year the Cardinals won 90 games and lost 72 to be the National League wild card entry. They won 84 so far this season. They have Chambers at second, Descalso at first. Beltran 3 for 19 on this road trip, although he did hit that home run in Chicago. John Jay is on deck. Lopez delivers, and it's ball 2. Lopez does not walk many. He's given up 4 homers in 62 1/3 innings. Can he help Bud Norris snap the 12-game losing streak tonight? Beltran staying alive, continues the battle at 2-2. In the Atlanta 3-0 shutout win over Miami, Paul Maholm goes to 13-10. Josh Johnson, the loser, 8-14. Kimbrel gets his 40th save for the Braves. Now Sean Markham and Milwaukee have finished off Cincinnati 8-1. Bronson Arroyo. Homers from Aoki, Braun, and Lucroy. Shot to second. Altuve in. Flips to Lowry, who gets the force out there. Lowry was backing out of the way as Descalso came in for the force play from 4 to 6 for out number 2.
Nice play by Altuve to keep that potential tying run out of scoring position. 3 hopper there was going to be awfully tough to get to, but instead of just settling for the easy one at first, his clock told him, yeah, I got Descalso. And he got him.
Now runners at first and third, 2 outs for Jay. Jay has a double in 3 trips. He got the first Cardinal hit leading off the 4th.
And normally you'd be worried about Beltran stealing a base, but the way he has looked in this series, I think that's probably the last thing on his mind.
Shelby Miller and Edward Mujica warm up. Fouled away, and it's a 1 ball, 1 strike count. Good ball game tonight. Home finale for the Astros. Tomorrow they travel to Miller Park in Milwaukee on off day tomorrow. Final road trip opens Friday night.
Brewers right now are huge Astro fans.
Yes, they are. And the Cardinals will be big Astros fans come Friday. Shot to short. Lowry tossing. Nice job. As Wilton Lopez comes in, gets 2 outs. It's no runs, no hits, an error. 2 men left for the Redbirds. 2-0 Astros. Carpenter on the mound. Jose Altuve at the plate. High pitch. He deposits that one into home run land right through the archway. And it's number 6 of the year. His first since June 23rd, 268 at bats ago. That made it 1-0 Houston in the 4th. But Norris has lowered his home ERA to 1.72, the lowest in the National League. And even lower than Lucas Harrell's 2.34. A very fine outing, and that's the second shutout start for Bud in his last 4. Shelby Miller's in for the Redbirds. He's 1-0 with a 2.70 ERA.
And Miller spent the year down at AAA. In the last couple of years, he's been considered not the top pitching prospect for the Cardinals, certainly among the top 2 or 3. Got some good young arms out in that bullpen. Boy, we saw Joe Kelly come in the game last night firing BBs.
Yes.
And this kid has a good arm as well.
21 years old from Brownwood, Texas. Got an offer to go to Texas A&M, but he was a first-round pick in 09, the 19th player drafted. Signed for a reported $2.9 million. Jose Altuve greets him. Foul ball. There's strike one. Altuve with that homer is 1 for 3. Mark Sepchinski in 1 inning, allowed 1 hit, no runs, with no walks, no strikeouts. The Cardinals have Carpenter, Holliday, and Craig due up in the 9th. Miller pitched at Palm Beach and Springfield last year. Broken bat. That one flies into the stands. It rolls out to second, and there's the quick throw to first by Descalso. Watch out up there in the stands. That was a dangerous projectile, and it just missed the screen and went back up over the Cardinal dugout. 1 out.
Looks like everybody's okay up there.
Oh boy, kids up there too. Reaction is always the same, isn't it?
Yeah.
Booing the security guy for taking the broken bat. Scott Moore is 1 for 3. He'll get a bat up to somebody. There's Paul Wondemore, and his hit was a double off the 404 sign in left center field in the 4th inning.
Can't afford to let anybody keep that broken bat. That's a weapon.
That is a weapon. All right, they'll get him something else. He didn't mind giving it up. That kid knows he's going to get something even nicer. One and two. And he'll get something from an all-star, Jose Altuve.
They should do the old let's make a deal. Bring the box down. Well, kid, what's it going to be? You're going to have this broken bat, or what's inside the box? You know, the kid's always going to take the box.
That'd be fun, yeah.
Oh, there's life on that heater. That thing's kind of hydroplaning. Late life.
2 balls and 2 strikes.
As our good buddy Mike Krukow says, second stage life. The ball does not decelerate like a lot of other fastballs. It's got good carry.
Well, probably a lot of strikeouts in Shelby Miller's future. There's number 1 of the night for him. Number 4 for Cardinal pitching. Jed Lowry is 0 for 3.
Striking out 10.5 batters per 9 innings down at AAA this year. Did give up 24 home runs in 136 innings. That speaks to a lack of command. So that's the missing piece. Once he tightens that up a little bit, he'll be on his way.
Strike 1 to Lowry.
I guess I should say if he tightens it up.
Yeah. High to right center field. Chambers backing. Chambers in front of the 373 sign for out number 3. We move to the 9th inning. And it is 2-0 Astros as Wilton Lopez comes out to face Carpenter, Holliday, and Craig in just a moment.
next game, and that will be on Friday. It's going to be Edgar Gonzalez, hopefully healed enough from his hamstring problem, against Giovanni Gallardo. Gallardo's had a great record for the Brewers, who need to just keep winning and hope the Cardinals lose a few more than just tonight. You know, you can catch all the action of the 2012 Major League Baseball postseason on Fox and TBS. The excitement begins October 5th with the wild card on TBS. Stick around after the game. We'll have Astros Live post-game. Patty will have an interview, and Brownie and JD will have some thoughts. Meanwhile, let's go back to those guys in the booth.
Thanks, Greg. Here's the ninth inning for Wilton Lopez. He got 2 outs in the 8th. Matt Carpenter leads it off. He's 0 for 3. Brian Bogusevic in the game in right field. Wilton Lopez gets strike 1.
Now, the one good thing about Lopez, you know you're going to have to beat him. He's not going to walk you.
There's a little flare near the left field line, and that is in for a hit. Carpenter singles to bring up Holiday. Hit number 3 for St. Louis.
Got in on him a little bit, and he just slips it into left.
Holiday's 0 for 3.
That's the 3rd hit of the night for St. Louis.
Holiday looks at ball 1 with Alan Craig on deck. Astros have 7 shutout wins this year. The Cardinals have been blanked 10 times.
Holiday represents a tying run, so the Astros outfielders are playing no doubles. They're very deep.
Lowry flipping, Altuve firing, double play.
How about that? Convenient little 2-hopper to Jed Lowry. The backhand flip to Altuve. 6-4 to 3. 2 outs, nobody on. Nice backhand feed, perfectly placed for Altuve to come across the bag and make the relay.
And he was able to avoid Carpenter sliding. Now it's Alan Craig who's 0 for 3. This crowd standing. Fans have had a very enjoyable time here tonight. There's strike 1 for Wilton Lopez. Yadier Molina's on deck. Cardinals have shut out the Astros 3 times this year. Houston trying to turn the tables. In the season finale, Cardinals have beaten them 10 straight times. It's 1-1 to Craig. Astros are 10-13 here in the month of September. In for a strike, 1-2. Bud Norris trying to snap a 12-game losing streak and win for the first time since May 21st. A bouncer to second, Altuve in. And that's the finale for the Astros. They shut out the St. Louis Cardinals 2-0. Bud Norris beats them. He goes to 6-13. He's 8-5 in his career against the Redbirds. And finally, after 18 starts without a win, Norris hits the win column for the first time since May 21st. Beating Chris Carpenter. Quite a night for Astros baseball as they finish out the season at home with this combined shutout. Norris and Lopez. Lopez getting the 5-out save, and with his ground ball ability, that really helped after the single by Carpenter to lead off the 9th inning.
Yeah, really, the Astros held Matt Holliday down this entire series. The big double play ball induced by Lopez, started by Lowry, and Bud Norris certainly earned this one tonight.
A combined 3-hitter. The Astros getting an Altuve homer and an RBI single by Wallace in the 2-run fourth, and that was the only scoring of the game. Tony DeFrancesco welcoming his team back in. And that's the finale as we get a brief flurry of fireworks.
A festive crowd on hand here tonight. People are fired up.
They really are. There's a lot of energy in this ballpark tonight. And Milo Hamilton goes out with a good one. A crisply pitched game by Norris. He retired the first 9, struck out 4 in those first 3 innings. And we go to Patty Smith on the field.
Well, thanks so much, Brownie. Doug Brocail, Houston Astros pitching coach. What a performance that was.
Unbelievable. You know, we'll take the shutout last game. Bud was awesome. Lopey was awesome. You know, Bud, I don't know what to say. He was phenomenal. And you know, he's got 1 start left after this one. He knew that this was going to be a good day. I knew when we left the pen that it was either going to be horrible or awesome. He had a bad warm-up, and I came down here and they said, well, and I said, you know, it's either going to be rugged or it's going to be unreal, and we got the unreal, and it was a good night.
When you said it was horrible in the pen, I mean, what was it that was horrible, and why would that lead you to believe that it might be a great night?
Because Bud knows that warming up is warming up. You're just getting your arm loose, getting, you know, ready for battle, and he went out there, and the whole walk-in after the anthem, I told him, I said, hey, dude, look, it's only warm-up. So, you know, after the first inning, I reiterated that it was warm-up. He looked good. He sounded good. And, you know, he had an air about him tonight that was a little different, and I like that. I like that in Bud because he really stayed focused and didn't get off course. And, you know, it's the last game at home for the National League and Milo's last day, and I think Bud knew that.
And, you know, 18 starts going all the way back to May since he got a win. I mean, it's got to be frustrating. What did you do as his, you know, pitching coach to kind of help him keep his head up throughout that whole time, not just the things you were telling him tonight?
Well, you know, Bud's been plagued with a finger that's a mess, and they got some Dermabond today, and I think that helped him along. You know, he had a lot less pain in the finger today, and, you know, as a coach, 90% of my job is psychologist. You just got to keep the guys going, keep them positive, and make sure that they know you believe in them. And, you know, he went out and showed why we believe in him.
You know, and you just made a good point, and you played for the Houston Astros as a National League team. This was the last National League home game here. What does that mean, or how do you feel walking out of here the last time in the National League?
You know, it's an end of an awesome era. You know, there were some great teams here in Houston. I personally, as a fan, you know, I'm disgusted with it, but I don't have any say in it, so we move on, and we just try to get better. And, you know, the way that Jeff's come in and the kids that we drafted and the traded guys that we got, we're on a timetable, and if we stick to that timetable and we get better every year, we're going to be something that, you know, hopefully the fans can come out and cheer for and really have something to root for, because I know it's been rugged this last year and the year before, but, you know, it's baseball. It's still America's game, and it's still the most awesome sport in the world.
All right, thank you so much. It's been a pleasure. Great way to end the season. Once again, the final score out here at Minute Maid Park, 2-0. The Astros win it. Don't go away when we return. Greg Lucas and Steve Sparks will be back with Astros Live.